what you're going to need to do next is you're going to want to get your piece ready for screen printing. And I, I like to use Pantone colors because when the mill gets them, they can match these exactly. And that's what we do at Art Gallery Fabrics. All of us match to Pantone colors, and then the mill it makes it very easy for them. So what I've done here is this particular Pantone Color Manager, and I'm going to put a caveat here is don't go ahead and get this Pantone Color Manager yet, but do get Fandex if you can, if you want to work with the Pantone colors. But right now, Pantone Color Manager's been having some quirks, and I called them the other day, and they said that it was going to be updated, but it was going to be some time. And they didn't really give me a definition of what some time meant, so I'm just going to keep my eyes peeled for whatever update is coming. So at any rate, so what I did was this Pantone Color Manager has a really neat thing where you can do, you can make a new palette from an image. So I brought in the image of the microburst painting, and it picked the colors for me, which is really nice. And then I just do File, Export, Photoshop, Lab. So then it goes to Photoshop, and I've already done that. So now I'm going to open up Photoshop. I'm going to open up my piece. So I've opened up Photoshop, and I'm going to open up my piece. And I've resaved this piece as indexed, and I've given it a background layer. So what I'm going to do, so I don't have to worry about losing all those changes that I made before. So image, mode, indexed color, especially since what happens here is you have to merge the layers, and you want to keep those layers for future reference. If you need to move anything around or anything like that, you've got to have a file that has your layers in it. So I'm going to say okay. Let it merge the layers. And here it's showing me local adaptive, forced none, matte none, dither, I want none as well. And so local adaptive, I've picked 100 colors here because I want to start as high as I can. I'm going to go to custom. Once it opens, sometimes it opens and it says local perceptual or whatever. You want to start it on local adaptive, pick the number of colors, then move it to custom, and see if any of the colors go ahead and change here. Let's make sure that we have the preview is checked. So now we're going to hit OK. And it doesn't seem to reduce the colors too much. So let's go back to local adaptive and see if we can go down to 80. And I'm not losing anything yet. So I'm going to go down to 70. See how low we can get it before the colors start changing. Oops. I'm betting that we have some color change here. It doesn't look like I lost anything, and I'm down to 20 colors, so and that's pretty good right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to image mode RGB color, now image mode back to index color, and a little palette's going to come up, and we're going to tell it exact. We don't want to have previous or anything like that. We want it to be exact. And then we say okay. You see it like it dithers. It's got like a funny look to it. But once we change it back to RGB and CMYK color palettes, then we're going to be, it melds back together. So don't worry about how it looks dithered while it's an indexed color. So then we're going to do image mode color table. Now sometimes you have to pick a ton more colors in order to get it to be the colors that you had it to start with. I'm going to go back because I'm looking at it going, I wonder if I did lose any color. So I just want to see what it looked like before real quick. Not really too much color loss. So I'm going to step forward. Okay. So I'm not too concerned here about color loss. I'm going to go image, mode, color table. Sometimes it'd be nice to just have the original sitting next to you so you could see how much color you might have lost in this process here. So I'm just going to pick this first color. And I like to do this. I'll hit the white to see where it is. And it's choosing that color. So I'm going to go over here to the colors that Pantone picked. And I'm going to change it. See which one I like. That looks like about the original color. And that works for me. So then I just go through each one by each one. And I like to take a white or a black depending on what color the background is. So I can very clearly see where this color is coming from. Then I hit cancel and I take a look at the original and then I pick it from here. And so on and so forth. And then I go through with all these colors. Let's see. I think I know where that one was. And this is about that. Maybe it's this one. See, these were the colors that were picked from the original. So I know that those are going to be closer. Now it looks like these are all going to come from the background. See, I'm seeing little dots pop up from the background. And so I'm gonna choose one of these blues for the background. And I'm going to stick with it. Because I picked 3 extra blues here that weren't initially picked by the program. And I'm going to stick with the blue that I go with initially so that I don't end up with a bunch of different ones. So I have to remember that it was this one on the end. I'm going to click here and see where this color comes up. Oh yeah, it's all like around the edges and where the color would be showing through in the painting. So it's definitely that background color. I'm going to hit that. Yep, there we go. And actually, over the years, this has gotten much, much better. Let's take a look at what that is. Over the years, it's gotten better. So where before you had to pick like a zillion different colors. I don't like any of these ones that this showed for me. I'm going to leave this the same color. And I'm going to go back later and I'm going to pick a new, oh, let's see, maybe it was this. That's the one. Okay, so then I'm going to go back here. And I can actually change these if I want. So as long as I keep it consistent. See, I don't like that because it's going to change the color out. There's going to be no contrast. What you're trying to do is keep consistency. Then once we have this all settled here, we can start changing things. And where is this color? Okay, that's on there. That looks like it's one of these greens. Let's see what happens. Nope, that is in, yeah, that could be one of the greens. So I'm going to pick a green here. That dark green. And later, if I want to make these more contrasting, I can change these colors. What you want to do is get this palette down though. Does anybody see where that's popping up? There it is. So I'm going to do this medium green in there. It's really that dark one. If I want to make sure that it contrasts later, I might pick something really light and then go back, or at least this medium hue. So what I don't want to do is merge all these layers to get all these colors together, and then I have no options later. So you can really play with this. And then this looks to be that. Yep. And we'll say okay. Then we say okay again here. Then we'll do image mode, go to RGB, then go image mode, index color, and that menu will pop up again. Want to make sure it says exact. And now we're down to 12 colors, which is really good. And it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to go back to, I'm going to save it so that I have that indexed bit there. And of course, every time you open that up, it's going to look all funny and pixelated. But now we're going to go to back to image mode, RGB color, and I'm going to save it as, oops, it's still saving, save as indexed RGB, so that I know that I did index it once, but now I've changed the color so that it's flat. Now I can go in still saving. Now I can go in and I can do almost anything here. So I can go, so I say it says exact. So I'm putting in the index. Now I'm going to pick another color palette. Let's see, what if I do, let's see, Spring 215. And I'm going to say append and try to just remember where it ends here so that it adds on and I don't lose this whole bit right here. In Illustrator, you can make different folders for them, but in Photoshop that you can't. That's kind of one of the fallbacks here. So then I do image mode, color table, and let's start with this background color. Maybe I want that background to be white. Maybe I want the flower to be orange or whatever it is, and I can change this whole out. Even just changing that background color made quite a bit of difference. And that's really pretty. I want to make sure that I'm not clicking in like merging positions, because once you've got one colorway established and say that's 12 colors, you can't send the other colorway to the mill and have that be 11 colors or 14 colors. It has to be the same exact number of colors for the mill, because they've got that number of screens now. And I can just play around till I have it how I like. And there we go. So now it's in that index color, and I'm going to save it as indexed color number 2 or whatever it is going to be. So there you have it. You now know how to index your colors.